Hey guys, Aldo back for another video here for the Pagan Perspective. This week's topic is one of my favorite ones. We have a question about thought forms and specifically how do we feed thought forms, how do we care for them. And just to jump straight into the topic, you guys know, again, it's one of my favorite ones. The way that you feed them is very important that at the point of creation that you put in a strong will, a strong thought of this type of food that it's going to partake. You have to kind of be in the mindset of what you want to feed them. Also, they will absorb whatever you have in your energy fields at the time. So, for example, if you're studying multiple languages and stuff, and if you want the thought form to be able to read different languages, it all kind of pulls in from what you've been working on in the few months up to that point when you actually focus your will and you create them. You're going to want to take note of what have you been going through. Like, have you been going through a lot of problems? Have you been going through a lot of negative things? Then you probably don't want to create one right away. Don't forget, guys, with doing any kind of magical ritual, it's always imperative that you do a grounding and centering technique. Just for what I just mentioned a moment ago, these thought forms will pull in what you have been going through over the last few months. So if you make the mistake of, let's say that you've had a kind of a turbulent month, a turbulent few months, and you fail to ground yourself, you fail to center, that energy may find its way into your thought forms, and you don't want them to be unstable. There is a school of thought out there that thought forms should be retired after a certain amount of time. And I think that stems from the fact that thought forms that aren't programmed properly can go on to kind of bother people. They may be starved for energy, they may be starved for food, and they may go on and try to latch on to other people, rob people of energy, vampiric type of behaviors. So if you don't want them to last forever, it's important that you program a death date into them, or put them in a place where they can be cared for. I personally have different realms and different meditative spaces that I have for them. I do keep some up indefinitely, and the way that I feed them, anytime I eat, I always offer the food that I'm eating at any point in time of day. Whatever I'm drinking, whatever I'm eating, I always offer it to them, and I also offer it to my spiritual guides when I eat too. It's very important that you feed your ancestors. All of this plays into one big giant spiritual team that should be helping you accomplish your will, helping you accomplish your goals. These are very important things, and that is the major way that I wish to answer the question. I want to know what you guys think. Hey, if you are someone who uses thought forms quite extensively, go ahead and put down below, how do you feed them? What is your particular food that you find that works best for them? I know that in candle magic, lighting a candle, especially for dangerous times, if you know that you're being attacked and things, candles work great because they can burn with a pretty steady energy, especially multiple candles. You can get into the different colors. So perhaps that is something that you may want to program into your thought forms colors, just to name a few. So guys, if you have anything that you can add, go ahead and put it down below. I do want to touch on the idea of thought forms for bad. I've never really experimented with using thought forms to harm people in a negative way. I've had them react because of certain negative energies that were aimed toward me, but that's more of a reactionary thing. That's more of a security-based situation. So I've never purposely sent one on a mission to harm someone, but I have had them react and harm people who have decided to hurt me. So I can't really answer the question about the bad side of it. I don't really have any pointers for that. All I can say is that if you're a particularly violent person, if that's the kind of stuff you carry with you in your energy field, you might be able to focus that into your thought form. That's if you want to. I will say that this is a double-edged sword, because if you don't retire them over time, they become pretty strong spiritual entities in their own right. And if you haven't programmed into them that they follow your will, they may grow tired of you. They may turn on you. And I feel like you're karmically responsible for what that thought form does in this realm and in different energy realms. So for example, if that thought form goes and harms someone, I believe that karmic energy will count as a strike against you, if that makes sense. Again, I want to know what you guys think. Have you ever had experience with this? Has any of your thought forms gone and harmed someone for whatever reason, do you feel like the karmic responsibility falls on you, or does it fall on this thought form entity that is now gone on to become kind of a demigodish type of thing, almost like an angel level ability? That would be great to know what you guys think. I want to know if you've had that happen. And that's about all I really have to say. I am looking forward to seeing more in this vein. And if you have any videos that can kind of corroborate what you say down below, go ahead and post those videos down below. If there's a video response to this video about the way they use thought forms, I want to see it. This is a great opportunity to get some comparison going. Again, you can make them look like anything. You can program particular elements into them so that way they can have an affinity for one element, or kind of be a jack of all trades and work within all of them. You can create thought forms that their whole goal is to kind of be like a medic, if you will, for the rest of your spiritual team. Really, the sky's the limit. Like, you could write a character, like they're amazing for what they are, and they're pretty good if you have a strong will and you, again, cleanse yourself, again, ground yourself, you have prepared properly. Because as I did mention earlier, they will kind of pull in some of the negative and positive effects of what you've been looking into for a few months and weeks as you build them. So if you're someone who's really into combat and you want to build a physical protector, but on the spiritual side, if you're reading a lot of martial arts books, if you're reading a lot of military books, those energies can find their way into your thought forms. All right, guys, that's about it for this particular question. I've kind of gone a bit over what I normally would do, so I don't want to keep you from your lunch or your loved ones. Go ahead and get out of here and look at the next person here on the Pagan Perspective or another pagan video. I will see you guys the second week in June. Thanks for watching, and blessed be.